Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. 2 आठवड्याचा ब्रेक झाला. So we will.
हो ना, खूपच ब्रेक झाला. मोठा ब्रेक झाला.
हा, समर वेकेशन मुलांचं. Okay. So last time, like 26th April, what we had done is we had completed the 4 reasons for, Arjuna deciding that he doesn't want to fight. Okay, and we had seen all those reasons. And after that, as the second chapter starts, he gives his 5th reason that comes in text 6. So you can keep your Bhagavad Gita's handy with you, so that you can focus. We will try to cover 6 and 7 today. Okay. So the 6th shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, here Arjuna is saying, just read the translation. The Arjuna says, nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. And yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. So here, this is the 5th reason, which is termed as indecision. So we had seen C, D, E, F, and this is I. What was C? C for? Likha hai. So C is for compassion. Arjuna had compassion. Then E was there basically enjoyment. Then fear of sinful reactions. And then destruction of dynasty was the last one. And then in this chapter, you can say I stands for indecision. He's saying neither we know which is better. मुझे पता ही नहीं है कि लड़ना अच्छा है या नहीं लड़ना अच्छा है. So he is in a perplexed situation where immediately in the next shloka, I will do a screen share. You're able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So now this is a shloka that we can memorize also, and it is a very important shloka. Okay. You can repeat after me. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavah.
Karpanya dosho
Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta.
Pruchhami tvam dharma sammudha cheta.
Yashreyasyanishchitam bruhi tanme.
Yashreyasyanishchitam bruhi tanme.
Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam.
Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam.
So, Karpanya dosho upahata swabhavaha. Okay, so Karpanya is coming from the word kripana, or being miserly in nature. So this is a shloka spoken by Arjuna. Okay, so he's saying after giving all these 5 reasons, okay, that on the grounds of compassion, I don't want to fight. On the grounds of, where is the enjoyment if everybody is killed? Then if I kill these people who are my Kula people, that means from my lineage, my clan, then I will have to face sinful reactions. And then he says, if dynasties are destroyed in this battlefield, women will become polluted. There will be unwanted progeny. If there is unwanted progeny, community projects will fail. Then there will be and due to unwanted progeny, पिंड लुप्त पिंडोदक क्रिया, कोई भी पिंड दान नहीं करेगा तो पितरों को भी बहुत तकलीफ हो जाएगी. And then in the end, in 2.6 he's saying, neither do we know which is better, being conquered by them or conquering them. And after saying all this also, he is still undecided कि मैं क्या करूं. So now at this stage, he is surrendering himself to Krishna. Yeah, if you see the last line, it says, Shishyasteham Shadhimam. Okay, so now he has made a decision that I am unable to solve this problem on my own. I need superior help. Okay, and then what is the problem that he is mentioning in the first lines? He's saying Karpanya dosho upahata swabhavaha. That now kya hua hai? I am afflicted by miserly weakness. Okay. And then he's saying that Pruchhami Tvam. I am asking you why Dharma Sammudha Cheta. Now dharma, this word can have many meanings, but in this particular context here, dharma means मेरा duty क्या है इस situation में. I am bewildered about my duty. Dharma sammudha cheta. And then he's saying, अभी आप ही मुझे मेरा श्रेयस बताइए. यत् श्रेयस्यान निश्चितम. For definite you tell me कि मैं ऐसी कौन सा मेरा धर्म है which is going to be shreyas, which is going to give me long term good results. Bruhi tanme. Bruhi means to speak. So you speak to me, O Lord Krishna. And why should you speak to me, Krishna? Because now I am surrendering myself unto you. Shishyasteham. That I am surrendering myself as a disciple. शादी माम means शादी means to instruct. आप मुझे इंस्ट्रक्ट कीजिए, आप मुझे गाइडेंस दीजिए. एंड त्वाम प्रपन्नम. आई एम सरेंडर्ड अनटू यू मीन्स व्हाट? कि सिर्फ इंस्ट्रक्शन दोगे और मैं सुनूंगा नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. बिकॉज व्हेन यू इंस्ट्रक्ट मी आई विल फॉलो. आई एम प्रपन्न, आई एम अ सरेंडर्ड सोल. सो आई विल obey. I will follow what instructions you give me, or based on the way you guide me, I will take decisions accordingly, and I will act accordingly based on the principles that you give me. I will act accordingly. Okay, so please instruct me. There is where Arjuna is here on this shloka. Now it's very interesting. We are going to try to learn 2-3 words, meanings here, and then we are going to try to put the shloka together. Okay, just hold on a second. Okay, so first we will try to understand the word karpanya, or who is a kripana. Then we will try to understand dharma sammudha cheta. Okay, and then we will try to understand the 3 words Shishyasteham, Shadhimam, and Tvam Prapannam. Okay. Now, while understanding this word Karpanya, before that also, we will understand how this material world or material activities are a source of perplexity for everyone. This is coming from Dharma Sammudha Cheta. Okay, bewildered about my duty. See, the word perplexity, the meaning of the word perplexity is that you are confused about a particular situation, and you are unable to make a decision. Either you're confused or you're anxious. Okay, so because you're unable to either understand something, or you're unable to solve that particular situation, that which route to take, that is called as being perplexed in a situation. यानी कि आपको समझता ही नहीं है कि ये स्थिति में मेरा धर्म क्या है, मुझे क्या एक्शन लेना चाहिए, मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, है ना. So दो चीजें हैं ये श्लोक में. वन इज द कॉन्टेक्चुअल क्वेश्चन. कॉन्टेक्स्ट क्या है कि अर्जुन को समझना है कि मुझे युद्ध करना है या मुझे युद्ध नहीं करना चाहिए. क्यों? अर्जुन का क्या परप्लेक्सिटी है? व्हाट इज अर्जुनस परप्लेक्सिटी? Arjun is caught up into his dilemma is that he has affection for his family members because he belongs to a Kula, and because of belonging to this Kuru dynasty, he has a Kula dharma that he should be protecting his people, the people of his kula, that means all these Kuru Vamshas, which include Duryodhan, Dushasana, his 100 brothers, and all the people who are siding with that party. Okay, and another dharma of Arjuna is his being a Kshatriya. Kshatriya, the word is Kshata Trayate iti Kshatriya, one who protects you from being hurt. That is a Kshatriya. So what is his Kshatriya duty? The duty as a Kshatriya is to fight this war, and to curb these people who are adharmic people. That is his Kshatriya duty. Okay, but now what is happening is that he has come at an intersection where if he does one duty, he will fail to do his other duty. If he does this duty, he will fail to do his first duty. ना, दोनों ड्यूटी वो साथ में नहीं निभा पा रहा है. अगर वो अपने स्वजनों को बचाने जाएगा तो वो अपना क्षत्रिय धर्म नहीं निभाएगा. If he follows his क्षत्रिय धर्म, then उसके कुल वालों को उसे मारना पड़ेगा, जिसमें we saw many times that he has a lot of soft corner for भीष्मा एंड द्रोणा, है ना. तो वो उनको ये नहीं कर पाएगा, सेव नहीं कर पाएगा. दे माइट हैव टू गिव अप देयर लाइव्स. सो कुल धर्म वो फॉलो नहीं कर पाएगा. सो नाउ ही इज कॉट इन दिस टेंशन, and these two dharmas are pulling him into opposite directions. See, if Kula Dharma and Kshatriya Dharma were going hand in hand, then it was very nice for Arjuna. But Arjuna has come at an intersection point in his life. Okay, and this intersection point is a source of perplexity for Arjuna. Why? Because he wants to do both. Because if he does one, he doesn't do another, he is in a lose situation. अगर एक करता है, यानी कि अगर क्षत्रिय धर्म निभाएगा, so it will be at the loss of his loved ones, and he is so attached to his loved ones, especially Bhishma, Drona, and others, that he is thinking that even if I do kshatriya duty, even if I win this war, even if I win the kingdom, I should not care to live if I have got this kingdom at the cost of the lives of my loved ones. Okay? So that is why he is so perplexed that he is thinking. And on the other side, he thinks that if I don't fight, है ना, वो सोचता है कि अगर फाइट करूंगा तो ये लोगों की मृत्यु हो जाएगी, तो किंगडम मिलके भी मुझे कोई आनंद नहीं मिलने वाला है, क्योंकि इनकी मौत से मिला हुआ किंगडम से मुझे कोई आनंद नहीं आएगा. And second decision that he can take is not fighting. तो अगर वो लड़ता नहीं है, तो then his only way of living is by begging. क्योंकि अभी दुर्योधन ने तो पीस मेकिंग सभा में ये भी बोल दिया था कि मैं सुई की नोक जितनी जमीन भी नहीं दूंगा इन पांडवों को. So if now he doesn't fight for his rights as a kshatriya, then what is going to happen? His only way of sustenance would be that he would have to live by begging. So like this, he is thinking कि ये करने पे भी loss ही loss है, and नहीं करने पे भी loss ही loss है. So this is called as a situation of perplexity, where both options are lose-lose situations for a person. ठीक है? You're with me till now? You all are able to understand his perplexity?
Yeah, very well.
Yeah? Okay. Now, in the purport, Prabhupada makes very amazing points about this perplexity. The first point Prabhupada says is that perplexities of life, they happen without our desire. They are, Prabhupada gives an example, they are like a forest fire that is not set by anyone, but it blazes without being set by anyone. है ना? फॉरेस्ट में क्या होता है, दो पेड़ों के घर्षण से फॉरेस्ट फायर लग जाती है. कोई वहां पे ऐसे माचिस की तीली लेके आके आग नहीं लगाता है फॉरेस्ट में, है ना. सो फॉरेस्ट फायर इज समथिंग दैट नन ऑफ द फॉरेस्ट ड्वेलर्स वांटेड, बट it was put upon them, है ना, without their desire. So perplexities of life, they happen without our desire, he says. And then Prabhupada says, now who is the man, who is a person who will come in perplexity? There Prabhupada says that a person who is a kripana, he is a person who will come into perplexity. Now what is the meaning of kripana person? Prabhupada mentions that kripana means ऐसा एक व्यक्ति जिसके पास स्किल्स है, हुनर है, एजुकेशन है, नॉलेज है टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम्स ऑफ लाइफ, बट he does not solve them. That means suppose दूसरों की भलाई के लिए और खुद की भलाई के लिए वो उस नॉलेज को, वो एजुकेशन को, वो स्किल को यूज कर सकता है, लेकिन वो करता नहीं है। यानी कि उसके पास कुछ है जिससे वो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकता है, बट ही डजंट सॉल्व इट। दैट इज अ कृपणा। नॉर्मली हम किसको कृपण बोलते हैं, या माइजरली बोलते हैं, कंजूस किसको हम बोलते हैं, कि जिसके पास बहुत सारी वेल्थ हो, लेकिन he doesn't use a farthing or one penny also, he doesn't use for himself or for his family or relatives, है ना। उसको हम बोलेंगे कितना कंजूस व्यक्ति है ये, इसके पास इतना सारा पैसा है लेकिन ये यूज नहीं करता है। तो ऐसे व्यक्ति को हम कृपण बोलते हैं, जनरली स्पीकिंग। बट द मीनिंग इन और द कॉन्टेक्चुअल मीनिंग इन दिस वर्स वेयर अर्जुन इज सेइंग कार्पण्य दोषोपहत स्वभावः, व्हाट इट मीन्स इज दैट I'm having all the skills to fight. I can fight this war, but मेरे में दोष, कार्पण्य दोष आ गया है। हाँ, so Prabhupada takes the spiritual angle of this, that we have got this human form of life, we have got this human body, which is a very perfect boat to cross over the cycle of birth and death. But one doesn't use his human form of life to question that why am I here? Why am I suffering? What will happen after death? He doesn't use his life for that, but he uses his life like normal animals, like cats and dogs, and he leaves this world. ऐसे व्यक्ति को कृपण कहा जाता है, ठीक है ना। Now, ये कृपण व्यक्ति परप्लेक्सिटी में आते हैं, यानी कि इनकी लाइफ में ऐसे ऐसे सिचुएशंस आते हैं जहां पे जब भी उनकी लाइफ एक इंटरसेक्शन पॉइंट पे पहुंचती है, वेयर दे हैव one or two options or three options, but then they are completely bewildered, confused that which option to choose, because both options seem like lose-lose situation. Now, I explained to you Arjuna's perplexity about tension between Kula Dharma and Kshatriya Dharma. Now, if we have to take an example in a normal context, say for example, you have a high court judge, okay, and वो अपना daily अपना धर्म निभाता है. That means, you know, ये आते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, अलग अलग गुनहगार आते हैं, एंड ही वो पनिशमेंट सुनाता है, वेदर ये बेगुनाह है, ये गुनहगार है, इसको ये पनिशमेंट मिलनी चाहिए. दैट इज हिज नॉर्मल कोर्स ऑफ लाइफ जो चल रहा होता है एज अ जज. नाउ से वन डे his own son is coming to the court as an accused, यानी कि उसने कोई गुनाह किया है, he has done something wrong, and now he has been brought to the court. Okay, now in this situation, okay, the judge, who is the judge, and at the same time he's also a father, है ना. So now what should the judge do, right? I mean, as a father, he will think that I want to save my son. As a judge, he will think I need to do justice. If all the evidences are very strong against his son, and for sure, you know, the judge realizes that yes, my son is the accused and he needs to be given a punishment. So now this is also a situation of perplexity for that judge, right? नाउ आई मीन नॉर्मल केस में एक्चुअली जब ऐसा होता है तो वो जज को वो केस नहीं देते हैं, बट वी आर जस्ट सेइंग हाइपोथेटिकल सिचुएशन हियर वेयर ऐसा होता है. तो ये सिचुएशन इज अ सोर्स ऑफ ग्रेट परप्लेक्सिटी. आप लोग भी थोड़े एग्जांपल सोच सकते हैं कि व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट सोर्सेज ऑफ परप्लेक्सिटी वेयर you have two different duties, and those two duties are pulling you into opposite directions, where either one you do, you will be unhappy, okay, because you are not able to satisfy the other or do the other duty, है ना. वैसे बहुत
इनिशियली माता जी,
yes,
इनिशियली वो अबॉर्शन का हमको चल रहा था ना, जैसे आज तक हमको सिखाया गया कि दिस इज योर ड्यूटी, like you know,
nice point,
this is
yes,
one of the procedure you can do.
yes,
So
yes,
अभी तो just suddenly we came to know that this is not done. This
Yeah.
should not be done. So it was very difficult to accept that.
Yes.
तो ये तो बहुत बड़ा परप्लेक्सिटी था, बहुत ही बड़ा. In the beginning of my practice, तो ये जैसे कृष्ण consciousness, this was a first hit to me. First hit to me. So I never knew why this is.
Yeah.
So I think this can be an example, like
Yeah.
if it is.
A very
If
good
you-
example. Actually, I had written it, but I did, I was just waiting.
टीचर है, उनका लड़का भी उसी क्लास में पढ़ता है, अगर वो फेल होता है तो उसको फेल करना ही पड़ेगा. एक तरफ लड़का है.
Correct. Yeah, very similar, like the judge and the son, same like teacher and correcting the paper, and correct. Very nice. Any other examples coming to mind? जैसे एक्चुअली क्या होता है, ये जो सिचुएशन है ना, लूज सिचुएशन ऐसी है कि एक तरफ कुआं है और एक तरफ खाई है. दोनों तरफ, both options are very deadly actually. So like those situations, when we face, तो उन सिचुएशंस में किस तरह से हमें बाहर आना चाहिए, दैट इज व्हाट द भगवद गीता इज स्पीकिंग अबाउट. सो मैडम मेंशन्ड अबाउट दिस abortion ka. Then I had written some more, like, if you have to perform an operation on a terrorist, as a doctor. So if you operate a terrorist, he can cause further damage or havoc to the country. On the other side, if you don't operate the terrorist, his people might terrorize you, terrorize your family. You have risk of life for yourself, for your family members. So these are very perplexing situations, correct? So like this, you can think about many more situations. There are some situations where, say, speaking the truth will bring one result, not speaking the truth will bring another bad result. So like these, there are many situations you have so much cause of perplexity, where typically you have one functional role, you have another functional role, and they both are clashing with one another. Where he had one functional role of he had a Kula Dharma and he had a Kshatriya Dharma. Like that only between us, where madam has given the example of abortion. One is where she had identified herself as a doctor, and second is now she's identifying herself with her fundamental identity of being a spirit soul, right? You understand the point? And so now when such perplexities come, okay, now who should you go to? Or what you should do in such perplexing situations is what Arjuna is helping us to understand. So 2.7, Arjuna is making a point that I am now Shishyasteham Shadhimam. I am a soul surrendered as a disciple unto you, and you please instruct me. So just like, Einstein once said that the problems cannot be solved at the same level of consciousness that created them. यानी कि अगर एक पर्टिकुलर चेतना में रह के कोई प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट हुआ है, तो उसी चेतना के स्तर पे रह के हम उस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व नहीं कर सकते. If I have to give you an example, जैसे अगर आप बहुत जब आप बहुत गुस्से में हो, so you are at one level of consciousness, and then say एक situation खड़ा हो गया हमारे गुस्से की वजह से. अब उसी गुस्से के स्तर पे रह के वो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं होगा. You will have to cool down. When you cool down, when you think, when you introspect, and then you are at a little higher level of consciousness than before, then you can solve the problem, or you can at least think about the solution. Correct? Now, taking this example further, that means we are currently at a material level of consciousness. हमें मैटर के अलावा कुछ ज्यादा इस्कॉन में आने से पहले समझता नहीं था. हम शरीर है, हम आत्मा है, ये हमें कोई भी नॉलेज नहीं थी. करेक्ट? So what happens is that we are at material level of consciousness, और जितने भी problems ये material level of consciousness में अभी ये दुनिया में हम देखते हैं, अगर उसी material level of consciousness से हम उनको solve करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो वो बेकार होगा. It will not work. Okay. So say for an example, अगर हम एक बहुत घने जंगल में हम हो गए हैं, say we are lost in a very dense forest, ठीक है? Now तुम कितना भी forest में घूम घाम के, you try to find a way out, you might take days and days, and you might even take months. But say for example, you have a helicopter hovering on the top, and he sends, and that a person in the helicopter provides you a walkie-talkie, and he talks to you and provides you guidance that, okay, now you, so because he's on the top, that means that represents that he's at a higher level of consciousness, because he's able to see the overview of the whole forest, correct? So now he can tell you, okay, take left, take another left, then take a right, then you will see some lake, then go around that, and then this is the way you will go out. And you are not able to see what he is able to see, correct? Are we able to see what the helicopter guy is able to see? No, we are not at his level. But we have faith that because he is at a higher level of consciousness, he can see the overview and he can get me out of this forest, correct? So that's how, when Einstein said that problems cannot be solved at the same level of consciousness that created them. That means you need to surrender to a person with a higher level of consciousness to solve even our material problems. And that's how Bhagavad Gita becomes a very universally read book, because it goes from contextual to universal. That means context क्या था कि अर्जुन को बस उतना ही पूछना था कि बॉस मैं लड़ू या नहीं लड़ू, बट कृष्णा उसको ऐसा आंसर नहीं देते कि हाँ बस भाई तेरे को लड़ना है. कृष्णा इज नॉट गिविंग हिम लाइक, जैसे बच्चे होते हैं ना, जब छोटे बच्चे होते हैं हम बच्चों को बोलते हैं देखो ये खाना है, ये नहीं खाना है, ये करना है, ये नहीं करना है, डोंट डू दिस. But we don't give them logic and reasoning, and we don't educate them at that level. But as they grow up, what do? We empower them. We give them values. We give them understanding by which they can develop their reasoning power, correct? And then they will make decisions for themselves based on the values, ethics, morals, whatever, based on our family, based on our upbringing, based on whatever spiritual knowledge we have. Like this, we empower them to make decisions rather than making decisions for them. है ना? Which child would you like? A child who is able to make sound decisions based on our upbringing, or you like a child who will always come to you for asking कि क्या करूं, बताओ?
First one.
है ना? Your first choice is something that every parent would want his child to mature. So that's what Krishna is doing with Arjuna. Krishna directly, in the next few shlokas, he could have said, okay, Arjuna, you have surrendered to me. Okay, my decision is that you now just fight. And then the Bhagavad Gita would have ended there. Hai na? But it is not like that. That's the universal appeal of the Bhagavad Gita, is where Arjuna has asked a question, but Krishna has not given him a direct answer of what to do. But Krishna has given him a complete science based on which he can decide what to do. Yeah, you can appreciate this point. And that is why Bhagavad Gita is such a universally read scripture, because it moves from the contextual to the universal. Because universal, why universal? That means every person in this world, he some or the other time in his life faces such perplexities. What am I supposed to do in this situation? What am I supposed to do in this situation? Correct? So a person definitely faces perplexities, and at that time he needs superior guidance, correct? And there is where the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita comes to the help or comes to the rescue of a person who is seeking higher wisdom, correct? And now Arjuna has realized that I have such a great person right on my chariot, and so he's mentioning these three things. Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tvam Prapannam. So we'll talk about these 3 points about when you, so I mentioned about the need for surrender, because you need a person with a higher level of consciousness to solve the problem which is created with a material level of consciousness. Now, but when you approach such a person who is at a higher level of consciousness, then what are the characteristics that a disciple needs when he surrenders to the spiritual master? So what are the 3 things he's saying? Shishyasteham. When he says Shishya, what he is saying is that I am taking a humble position of being a disciple. So disciple is always, you know, taking a humble position. So Arjuna is now taking a humble position of being a disciple. So the first quality of a disciple is what? Humility. Huh? So this is what Arjuna displays by saying Shishyasteham. Now, what does humility mean? Humility means many things, but in this situation, what humility means very practically is that I'm ready to be instructed, I'm ready to be corrected. That is humility. है ना? देखो, if you don't accept that you are shishya and that you need to be instructed and you need to be corrected, then nobody can actually teach us. है ना? अगर हमने अपने मन में बना लिया है कि मैं सब जानता हूँ, I don't need any instructions, अभी आप लोग आके क्या हमको बताएंगे, you know, if we have that kind of attitude, then nobody can really teach us, right? So the first step to gaining knowledge from a spiritual master is humility. And then Shadhimam, you instruct me. That means I am ready to listen to you. So one is that I'm taking a humble position. I'm ready to be instructed. I'm ready to be corrected. And then the second is Shadhimam means मैं श्रवण करने के लिए तैयार हूँ, मैं सुनने के लिए तैयार हूँ आपसे. देखो normally क्या होता है, if you see people outside, they want to always make a show that everything is perfect in their lives and they don't need any instructions, they don't need any, you know, they don't even show that they have any problem in their life, correct? They want to show a very perfect life of theirs to the outside world कि मेरी life में सब perfect है, मुझे किसी की जरूरत नहीं है. This is the way people in the outside world behave, correct? But when you come to spiritual life, when we come to spiritual life, when we come in front of a spiritual master, the first quality that we should have is that yes, whatever the spiritual master is saying, I'm ready to be instructed. तो पहले मेरा जो ego का block है, मुझे वो हटाना है, and I'm going with an understanding that if you just remember the analogy of the forest and the helicopter, that the spiritual master is way there. He is at a very high level of spiritual consciousness and he can see my problem very easily. And if he, because he can see my problem very easily, he can give me the solution also, because he can see both. He can see where I'm stuck and he also knows the road out of the problem. Whereas I can only see my problem, I'm not able to see the solution. Okay, but I need to have faith in him that whatever solution he is giving me is right, because he's at a higher level of consciousness. So first is we develop that humility. And second is we hear from him by being humble. है ना? We hear from him. And then we offer service to him. I'm surrendered means I'm ready to do what you say, means I'm ready to serve you. है ना? So this coincides a lot with our shloka 4.34, तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया. वहां पे भी ये 3 क्वालिटीज आती है, यहाँ पे भी यही 3 क्वालिटीज है कि पहले तो हमें ह्यूमिलिटी डेवलप करना है, एंड सेकंड is that we should hear from the spiritual master properly, and hear करने के बाद बस यहाँ से सुना यहाँ से निकाल दिया नहीं, based on what we have heard we should serve the spiritual master. We should serve the spiritual master. So when we serve the spiritual master, we develop रियलाइजेशन, है ना? रियलाइजेशन आएगा. अगर हम सेवा ही नहीं करेंगे, सिर्फ हम सुनेंगे लेकिन उसका अमल नहीं करेंगे, तो we will not develop, one is we will not develop a relationship with the spiritual master, we will not get any spiritual realization, है ना? So these three are important characteristics of a disciple who is taking shelter of a spiritual master. Okay, so in a nutshell, in this particular shloka, you can say that if we have to recap the whole class, Prabhupada starts the purport with perplexities, that in life, material activities are a source of perplexity for everyone, Prabhupada says. Then we discussed about the perplexity of Arjuna. We discussed real life perplexities that we face with different examples. Then who Prabhupada mentions who is a person in perplexity is a miserly person, a kripana. So we defined what is a kripana, correct? And then what is the way to get out of perplexity is by, we give the example of the dense forest and the person who is at a higher level of consciousness in the aeroplane or a helicopter. And then we said by surrendering to such a person who is at a spiritual level of consciousness, and the three characteristics of a disciple who wants to surrender. So like this, Bhagavad Gita is very amazing scripture that at this point, if you see the chapter that it flows ahead, Krishna has taken the course of the Gita from contextual to universal, that everybody faces such problems, everybody has such perplexities, and what is the way out? So the first step out is surrendering to a spiritual master. This is the first step. Normally, in ISKCON, many times what happens is that we think once we get an initiation, then hum Raja ho gaye. No, initiation means the beginning. So the beginning is of spiritual life starts with surrendering to a spiritual master. And then as we gain knowledge from the spiritual master, as we perform service with humility, then all the other things will happen. So like this, we will see that Bhagavad Gita that is spoken by Krishna is not just for Arjuna or for a particular problem. It is solving the problem of everybody. It is giving universal level solution. Okay. Any questions?
माताजी,
Yes.
हरे हरे कृष्णा, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna.
माताजी, कभी कभी ना हमारे ऐसे पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम होते हैं,
Yes.
पर्सनल इश्यूज होते हैं। तो ये अभी लाइक वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड ओवरऑल और वी हैव टू सीक द गाइडेंस ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर, बिकॉज़ spiritual master may not be available or it is difficult to reach for so many disciples.
True. Yes. So two things are there where Krishna himself mentions in the Bhagavad Gita, that see, when we sincerely surrender to the process, to the spiritual master, in general, see, surrendering to the spiritual master, like, we read in this 18.66, Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulasya Varjanam, that by surrendering to the spiritual master literally means you surrender to his instructions of, Anukulasya Sankalpa Pratikulasya Varjanam. That means you accept things that are favorable, you are giving up things that are not favorable, correct? And at the same time, by doing that, what happens is that in 10.10 in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. So when you means at a large scale, आपने अपना लाइफ का एक राउट डिसाइड कर लिया कि अभी मुझे कृष्ण भक्ति में रत होना है, और उसके बाद हमारी लाइफ में ये छोटे छोटे सर्कमस्टेंशियल प्रॉब्लम्स भी आते हैं, बिकॉज वी आर इन दिस पर्टिकुलर बॉडी, इन दिस पर्टिकुलर लाइफ दैट वी आर लिविंग एज वट एवर वी आर राइट नाउ विद अवर functional identity that we have. Now, ये problem, two things are there. One is, if just by getting help based on scripture, if the problem is getting solved, very good. If the problem is so difficult that it is kind of really troubling you a lot, then whichever devotee you feel can provide you superior guidance, because in our society we have a lot of shiksha gurus and diksha gurus, so you can approach those devotees. Or if you feel that no, I don't want to open up to anybody, then Krishna himself says that dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te, that I will give jnana deepena bhasvata. Krishna says, right, that I will light the torch of knowledge in your heart, and I will give you the intelligence by which you can come to me. So even the circumstantial issues जो है वो भी solve हो जाएंगे, and you can take any of these courses which you feel is right for that situation. Either you see that with whatever knowledge through the lectures that we get, through the books that we read from Prabhupada, if you are able to get a solution, get a hint. If not, you want to speak to a devotee. If not, then you want to directly speak, like speak out your heart to Krishna. As when we go to the temple, we stand in front of the deity. You can do that, because sometimes problems are so difficult that you really don't want to kind of probably even share. So you start there, you start with Krishna, and see, if what is working, because the whole idea is that now as devotees, we have made this as our main goal of life, that I want to progress in spiritual life. So then whatever other circumstantial problems, if they are bothering us too much, then quickly we should find a solution, and make our road easy for advancing in spiritual life, rather than बहुत ज्यादा उस छोटे प्रॉब्लम पे फोकस करना, या छोटा या सर्कमस्टेंशियल प्रॉब्लम बोल सकते हैं, कि सर्कमस्टेंशियल प्रॉब्लम पे ज्यादा फोकस करना, उससे अच्छा कि यू फाइंड अ सॉल्यूशन, गो अहेड विद इट and focus on our spiritual life. Let that problem not eat up so much of your time like that, or your mental energy, है ना?
Yeah, okay. I got the point. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right. So next Wednesday is 24th, right? 24th of May. So 24th of May, I'll talk with Dr. Lakshmi. Dr. Lakshmi will do the chapter 5 of Krishna book. Okay. And then we will again continue this theme of second chapter in the lecture after that, in the session after that. All right. Any other questions anybody has? Okay.